and I have bank accounts, and I'm in Cyprus, and I have my bank accounts in the bank. We know today that the banks are not crypto friendly. So if I've received money in crypto, be it legit, done the checks, so it's all proper, right? No illegal source. The bank doesn't want to hear it, because when I go and I convert that, and here's another question. So I receive the Bitcoin, and then I can convert it to fiat euro, for example, still on your platform, or does that convert to fiat and somehow based on the approval of the bank to receive the money in my bank account?
So the main banks in Cyprus, they will have a very hard time to convince them to accept crypto funds, and Bitcoin funds. The first thing we need to do, though, is to show them that there is a solution to know that these funds are legal, they didn't pass through any illicit activity. That's the first step, And my job as a Bitcoin evangelist, as you said, is to try my hardest to convince them and to show them what this is all about. That's the first step. We don't really use them. We have connections with many banks around Europe, especially in Switzerland, which is an amazing country to do banking with and in. And but some other banks as well. In Greece, it's fine with it, but there are certain rules that you need to follow. And we know all these rules. Some other regulations that, 6 months ago, maximum, they came up, the MiCA regulations, MiCA. We need to follow those as well. It's a lot of pages, but if you know what you are doing, it's very easy to follow them. But we had most of them already in place. But yes, to answer your question briefly, yes, you can accept euro and fiat currency in your bank accounts, because it's very easy to open a bank account if you are a legit person or business. It's very easy to open bank accounts outside of Cyprus, for now at least, until,
So I guess it's just a matter of time until other countries who are not so open to crypto slowly start accepting it.
They will not have a choice.
They will not have a choice. And
the first step, though, if I may interrupt you, the first step, though, is for them to accept it as collateral. So let's say if you have 10 Bitcoins and it's around $250,000 now, to accept it as collateral for you to get a loan on it.
That will be a massive game changer.
That will be the first step in recognizing it as a legal tender, a legal asset. And then move on from that, there are countries like El Salvador that can even pay your taxes with Bitcoin. It's a legal currency in El Salvador, not just as a collateral and stuff with banks. You can actually use it to pay for, even in a market, even in a market they can accept Bitcoin.
Well, the day that happens is, in my mind, the day when the world has officially accepted Bitcoin. Because if you think about the banks, what does the bank do? They sell money, right? That's what they do. And they sell money in the form of loans, because they charge interest on that. That's how they earn their revenue. And the way they do that securely is with collateral that they accept as something valuable for them to not lose the money that they're giving you, that they're loaning. Today, real estate, a fixed asset like, a house or a building or land is acceptable to the bank. But there's so many strict, they do it in a very kind of conservative way. So if there's a piece of land worth $1 million, they will accept, 60% of that value as collateral. The day that they accept Bitcoin as collateral, that would be game over. Bitcoin has been incorporated into the system, finished. Is there any bank that's doing that today?
There are applications to do it abroad, of course not in Cyprus yet, but there are thoughts, because there is a famous saying, if you can beat them, join them. They've tried to actually beat Bitcoin, but now the BlackRock, let's say, they are building ETFs around it, spot ETFs, which is a massive move for Bitcoin, because spot ETF there's a lot of difference between a spot ETF and a futures ETF. You're not trading futures. You're trading actually the spot price. So that will have a massive impact on the price as well. But after the ETFs, I think banks are going to come to play.
BlackRock are creating or already have a spot ETF.
No, it's not approved yet.
Based off of the price of Bitcoin? Or?
The spot ETF, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And after BlackRock, like 10 other companies, maybe more, they filed an application as well for a spot Bitcoin ETF.
Well, if you think about the likes of BlackRock, who, they're
Trillions.
10 trillion, whatever it is, they're massive. They're massive.
I think they own with the Vanguard. I think they own 70% of Nasdaq. I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like
they control. That's the real government.
Exactly. But
So
they tried to beat it, I'm sure, but they couldn't beat it, so they joined it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, makes sense.
Thank you for watching. If you liked that video and you want to watch the full episode, it's available here. Remember to like, subscribe and share. It helps the channel.